So I'm grinding, I'm begging you please. Girl, come stop playing with me. You're the one I need. Let's make it rock, girl, don't you feel that chemistry? I'm feeling you, we hope that's equally. I'm on call away, this is like 1, 2, 3.
He said what he said. Let's get back into the thing. I ain't gonna lie, there's nothing to say about that one. Crew, listen, bro. Listen, cause you gotta answer the phone though. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm live though. I'm live though. I'm live. I can't answer the phone every time, but like, I'm live though. See what I mean? Same way, so crew, we have to get straight into these videos. Cause I'm not gonna lie, some of these videos I really want to react to. So let's hop straight into these. Best viewing pleasure. I'm not gonna do y'all boys and girls like that. I never do y'all boys and girls like that. Hold on. The last time we reacted to a true crime was a while ago. I've reacted to a true crime in a long time, chat. And when I first started, the first video I reacted to was a true crime. I ain't gonna lie to you. One, I got hooked. They're interesting, chat. I like interesting stuff. Makes you think, what's gonna happen next? You don't know. Listen. This is the Counter-Strike YouTuber who went ballistic. Oh my gosh. Hold on. So wait. I feel like I should just play the video. I'm not even gonna lie to you. No, cause chat, someone tried to get at me, telling me, I was disrespecting some and things of that nature. Listen, I'm just reacting to the video. Like I'm just reacting to the video. That's all I'm doing. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's all I'm doing. I don't control chat. I can tell chat, chill out, relax. But like, I can't control them. They're their own person. Like, what do you want me to do? But chat, LLB, like we're not on that type of timing right now. We're not on that type of timing. So let's get straight into the video.
When an 18-year-old famous gamer, collector, entrepreneur, and YouTuber lost his career in an instant, many wondered if it caused him to snap. The actual story, though, seems to be much more complex.
Join the crew, send me stuff to react to. Now let's do what we do.
Than that, and still is shrouded in mystery.
Pause it again. Oh, I'm a pause demon. No, YouTube fam. I'm sorry. YouTube fam. Do not click off the video, YouTube fam. Listen, do not click off the video. I know you might be angry because like, why is he pausing so damn much and things of that nature. You gotta understand, I'm a pause demon. Okay? Do not. Hold on. Appreciate you, YouTube fam.
Time and time again, YouTubers come to be criminals in one way or another. This case in particular is definitely different, though. While this man's life, career, and the lives of others would abruptly come to an end in a horrific manner, many questioned if it was even intentional in the first place, or if he even had really any idea of what was going on. Trevor J. Heitmann was born on February 18th, 2000. Born and raised in San Diego, he lived with his mother, father, and his sister. While he was said to have been a quiet and reserved kid, he was decently tall for his age and grew up with quite the passion for basketball, even winning multiple awards throughout his childhood. He wouldn't really go on to...
Do I know this guy? I didn't play a lot of... I ain't gonna lie, I never had a PC to play Counter-Strike, so I probably don't know this YouTuber, but... Why does he kind of look familiar? I feel like he was fake. I don't know. But he was a hooper though.
Play in high school though, as that's when his new passion took over.
I can see that though.
By the time he was 15 years old, he was playing all sorts of games. While he had a lot of favorites, he really liked to play Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
That was his game.
For those of you who don't know, this is a first-person shooter game that sees battles play out between terrorists and counter-terrorists. The main reason that Trevor took a huge fascination with the game wasn't so much due to the gameplay itself, but due to the skins. Skins are cosmetic items in games. They don't affect the way you play, but they change the appearance of your character, weapons, vehicles, or more depending on the game. Usually the developers use them to make a bit more money while not making the game a pay-to-win experience by allowing players to purchase items that give them an edge in the game. Trevor was fascinated with the weapon skins in the game, and for good reason. In CSGO, some of the skins are so rare and sought after, sometimes only being released once, that they could go for hundreds, thousands.
Guys, CSGO, if you get the right skin, you could actually be a millionaire off of one skin on the game. People are bidding $1 million for a skin in the game. Chat. I'm in the wrong business. Listen, what if I just became a professional CSGO miner? I'm telling you, if you really break it down and think about it, no, hold on, wait. Break it down and think about it. If I really became a professional CSGO miner, does the game still go on? People still play Counter-Strike. People still play Counter-Strike. That's a fact. So the game still go on. Chat, we might have to start our journey. It's okay. We might have to start our journey. It's okay. We'll start our journey soon. Soon we'll start our journey. Soon. Until then, I'm gonna stick to my day job.
Thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Trevor decided to make a YouTube channel dedicated to his new obsession, one that would soon become a smash hit. In April of 2015, he uploaded his first ever video to YouTube, one all about CSGO skins, called CSGO Top 10 Most Expensive Skins and Rare Weapons 2015. Naming his channel after the McSkillet, a discontinued McDonald's burrito, it's safe to say that he probably had no idea how much his channel would really blow up, but blow up it did. Making top 10s, top 5s, tutorials, and videos showcasing leaked upcoming content related to CSGO, his channel only grew and grew. Eventually, he garnered over 800,000 subscribers this way, making himself some pretty good cash along the way, especially for a teenager not even 18 years old. This gave him more money for skins, leading to him being able to buy and sell them for a profit, garnering him even more money. He was pretty vocal about how much money he was making, mentioning several times throughout his videos that he was making a pretty nice chunk of change from the game.
Hey man, don't be exposing
The popularity of buying and trading these skins gave birth to websites with the sole purpose of buying and trading them around. After that came what people called the gambling sites, which were basically the modern-day concept of loot boxes. You would pay a certain amount of money for a grab bag full of skins, and while most of them were not going to be anything special, you did have the small chance of getting a pretty expensive one for a low price this way. The concept really worked and became a huge moneymaker, often sponsoring Trevor and his YouTube channel. Trevor got in on it himself, either helping to develop or solely developing a few platforms. One of these was called Skins.trade. After that, he developed one called CSGO Kingdom. Eventually, he stopped taking sponsors from other platforms and started focusing entirely on advertising his own. It was now November of 2017, and Trevor was 17 years old. He stopped working on CSGO Kingdom and began to focus on a new platform he was heading, one called CSGO Magic. This new platform was an even bigger success. It's said that Trevor made roughly $10 million from all of these different ventures before he was even a legal adult. 1 month later, in December, he bought a cool new car, a 2014 Mercedes-Benz McLaren 650S.
10 mil? He bought a McLaren?
He was very proud.
He's playing GTA in real life at 17. Telling you, Counter-Strike, professional crypto Listen, we're gonna start our journey. I refuse, chat. I refuse.
Proud of this car, considering it to be the fruit of all of his labors. He made a rare IRL video, one in which he showed off the car, telling his fans all about it.
Alright, what's going on guys, McSkillet here with another video, but today I thought I would switch it up and just do a real life video because I've been seeing plenty of new car videos on YouTube for the longest time and people seem to like those videos, they seem to get a lot of views, so yeah, this car is pretty damn insane. It's got a twin turbo V8, so once the turbos kick in, you just have so much power, it's ridiculous.
This was last year?
He was now one of, if not the biggest, names in the CSGO community and had both
3 weeks ago. This just happened.
a very successful business and YouTube channel. He was rich, he was hitting the gym, he had big plans, and he was still only 18 years old. Little did he know, though, that March 20th, 2018 would be the last day he would ever upload a YouTube video.
What happened?
In 2018, the CSGO gambling scene was bigger than ever. However, with the obscene amount of money that it was pulling in, it didn't always attract investors with the best of intentions. Many different people were now getting in on the industry, with some people completely unrelated to the game itself even getting in on the action. Many different YouTubers were advertising and praising their own gambling websites that they failed to divulge that they were even the owners of. After a while, many of these people started using their platforms to outright even scam their users.
Damn!
This got a whole lot of bad press for Valve, the creators of both Counter-Strike and Steam, the platform that hosted the game. In March of 2018, Valve made the difficult decision to patch the game to stop people from selling and trading skins so easily, hoping that it would cut down on the problem. They imposed a 7-day trading ban on all skins, meaning that after they were traded once, they couldn't be traded again for a week. This would make it much harder for these websites to trade them around in a timely manner. On top of that, they also sent a cease and desist order to the owners of the majority of the CSGO gambling websites, telling them to stop what they were doing. CSGO Magic and in turn Trevor were both hit very hard by both the update and the legal order. One of the developers that Trevor hired to run Magic told him that he could probably rework the website to run well enough even after the ban, likely planning to implement a 7-day hold on purchased skins as they had no other choice. After all, given that this was the only way to do it now, customers likely would have understood. However, Trevor didn't want that. Instead, he told him to shut the website down completely. One problem was, it wasn't only the website that got hurt by the ban. Trevor's own personal CSGO account was hit with a trade ban as well, leaving his large personal collection effectively worthless. This was because, when making the bots and dummy accounts to trade items on CSGO Magic, Trevor had used his own personal number to verify their accounts, the same phone number he used for his own personal account. At the time, his skin collection on his personal account was worth $100,000 to $200,000 on its own. While that was only a small percentage of the usual millions he was used to making, it was undoubtedly a bit of insult to injury. What likely hurt even more was the fact that, now that Trevor wouldn't be known for trading and selling, this killed his ability to find sponsors like he could before.
Yeah, but you have to understand, he made 10 mil off that website. He has a McLaren. He's chilling. A cool 200K is nothing. He made 10 mil. Obviously, that's gonna hurt. Plus, your website got bad, so they gotta find a new source of income. But you were just up 10 mil. Ain't no way you broke. If you broke and you just up 10 mil, you need to fix your life, gang. Ain't no way you already broke. There's no way. You're doing bad. You're doing bad. There's no way.
Even so, it's likely that there wouldn't have really been any sponsors around anyway. The market for skins at the time was absolutely crashing and burning, as all the accounts and websites dedicated to selling them were trying to panic sell off their stock. Trevor, left without much else to do, could have used his near 900,000 YouTube subscribers to continue making money purely through ad revenue on his normal videos, but he decided not to for whatever reason. It's likely that the thousands of dollars he would have gotten from this, although substantial to the average person, wouldn't have felt like anything in comparison to the millions he was making before.
What'd I tell you?
It seems that he just didn't feel it was worth his time.
That's what I'm saying, he didn't
As
care.
it was, Trevor was still very good on money.
care.
After all, according to his own father, he had made over $4 million in the last 10 months alone. Contrary to popular belief, his friends have said that he wasn't too fazed by the whole thing. In fact, to them, it almost seemed like he was happy to get out of the gambling world.
Oh, the man was chilling.
Many people blamed what happened next on his inventory ban, but knowing how much money he had as backup, this was a very small drop in the ocean. And I've been assured by people that knew him closer than I did that he wasn't really fazed by this, and this was definitely not the reason for what happened next.
What happened next?
After all, that world had been attracting some absolute scumbags in the past year. It had been implied to a few of his friends that a few of the developers he had hired to work on his platforms had betrayed him and stolen a good chunk of money from him. This could have explained why he kept scrapping old platforms and making new ones that were basically the same thing. At this point, Trevor was actually thinking of moving on from CSGO and putting his efforts towards the new current up-and-comer, Fortnite. Ready to cash in on its booming popularity, Trevor wanted to build a website that would host Fortnite tournaments. In doing so, he changed his Twitter bio to retired YouTuber and chose to be a more behind-the-scenes type of guy.
On the 12th of April, he messaged me telling me that the skins gambling industry was pretty much done, and I'm told he was going to move to Fortnite and was setting up a Fortnite tournament website.
However, during this time, it became more and more apparent to those around him that Trevor was struggling with his mental health, and that's putting it lightly. While Trevor had always been straight edge, never touching drugs, alcohol, or even tobacco, he was starting to act very strange. He had no diagnosed history of depression or mental illness in general, but he was clearly starting to fall apart. He told his mom that he was breaking down, but it seems he had trouble articulating what he meant by that. Many people theorized that the trade ban imposed on Trevor and the loss of his skin collection had caused him to snap, but it really seemed to his friends that he still had some very obtainable goals moving forward. Not only that, but he was still filthy rich and wasn't about to run out of money within this lifetime. However, everyone handles stress differently, and having such a massive change within your life at such a young age, one that involves millions of dollars and employees to feed, very well could have affected his mental state much worse than he noticed at the time. Trevor began to show signs of experiencing manic episodes, very extreme manic episodes. During mania, people are known to engage in dangerous, risky activities that they would normally never dream of doing. Some people during manic episodes will blow all their money, cheat on their spouses, or participate in extremely dangerous acts while the rush makes them feel invincible. Trevor's mania mainly manifested within his driving. In his sports car, he would often drive in a way that most people would find, frankly, insane. He didn't just speed or drag race like you might think. He would drive 150 miles per hour down a 25 mile per hour street on the wrong side of the road, dodging oncoming traffic. Eventually, Trevor let slip to his mom that he was doing this, giving her a pretty big scare. His parents asked him what he thought would happen if he was caught doing all this, or if he died in the process entirely. When it came to the police, Trevor told his father that neither the police nor their bullets could hurt him. He said that his skin was tightened and hardened, and even bullets wouldn't be able to stop him. Trevor's personality and mental state was changing dramatically, very quickly. He told his parents that he was continuing to suffer from meltdowns, and his father told him that he should probably go see a doctor before he did something that he couldn't come back from. He told his parents that he didn't need to, as he was perfectly fine, contradicting his own claims of breakdowns and meltdowns. At this point in time, his parents were more concerned about his reckless driving, worrying that he would end himself up in jail. Little did they know, his driving was heading somewhere much, much worse than that. On the day of August 23rd, 2018, Trevor was awake in the early hours of the morning, crying and telling his parents that he was having a breakdown again. He went to sleep for a few hours, only to wake up again and behave in a very odd manner that was new to him. He kicked his mother out of the house, causing her to stay in the garage for the time being. He sent her some text messages afterwards, saying that he would resort to violence if she tried to return. He told her to get out and never come back, or else he would lose it. Somewhere along the way, he threatened his sister as well. Trevor had been wanting to live on his own, renting an apartment that he was all set to move into on September the 2nd. However, his parents were worried that if he left and no longer had any supervision, that he would end up being even more reckless and dangerous, maybe even hurting someone else. At around 8 a.m., Trevor's parents called their neighbor, a psychologist and friend of the family named Mary Rusher. She called 911, saying that she was concerned about Trevor's mental health. She reported to them that he could very well be a danger to himself and others. She felt that he should be detained for further observation at the least. As Trevor once again crashed and fell asleep upstairs in his room, the police showed up to the home and spoke to his parents. The police saw Trevor's father's car blocking a nice-looking McLaren into the driveway. This was done in order to keep Trevor from getting into any more of his dangerous driving, especially in his current fury. The police spoke to his father, more concerned about the nice car and how much money Trevor was making than the problem at hand. When they joked that Trevor should give them some tips, his father told them that now was not the time.
Now is not the time to joke around.
It's your son that you were concerned about?
Yes.
Okay.
He's
What's
just doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Who bought the car for him?
He bought it.
He bought it?
He bought a McLaren?
Millions of dollars, yeah.
At 18 years old?
He's a very intelligent kid.
What's he do?
He does all kinds of stuff on the internet. He's a celebrity type person, and he's just kind of snapped. He made $4 million in 10 months.
Okay.
Oh.
Months.
So,
He's got to teach me his ways.
not right now.
The police spoke to Trevor's mother as well. Before they started, they said, "Before you start, ma'am, there's a criteria. He has to be gravely disabled. He has to have a credible threat against somebody. He has to have harmed or be harmful to his own self. There's only certain criteria that we can take him in under." So she showed them the threatening text messages. However, the police felt that what was said in these messages wasn't anything substantial. The police told the parents that, as Trevor hadn't actually done anything illegal aside from traffic infractions, they couldn't do anything to detain him. They said that they would need much more probable cause than that or risk infringing on his rights.
What?
They asked the parents what they wanted them to do. Take him in for a psychological evaluation, they were told. But they once again reiterated that Trevor didn't meet the criteria. When Trevor's mom said that he was clearly experiencing mania, they told her that that simply wasn't enough.
I mean, it's not in our presence. We can't go off other people's words.
He has to be doing something violent. He has to be wanting to harm himself, harm someone else. I'm not willing to go ahead and I won't go to prison to get him into a hospital.
When the family argued that Trevor had indeed been violent both in his driving and in the text messages he sent, the officers were adamant that it wasn't enough and that there was nothing that they could do. The family urged them to at least go inside and talk to Trevor, but they were also worried that he might get violent if the officers did go in and wake him up. So, rather than even try, the officers instead urged them to evict him and get a restraining order, although they did admit that that process could take some time. After a long while of getting nowhere, Mary Rusher showed up to the house and spoke to the officers. She said that she also felt he was a danger. The police then asked if she was his psychiatrist. She wasn't, so they couldn't take her word on anything. She said, "Based on what I heard, although you are right, I did not evaluate him and I am not his psychiatrist, it would be enough criteria were I treating him to diagnose him with a mental illness and to hold him involuntarily against his will. Because he's reporting behavior that is placing the public at risk and placing himself at risk. He did threaten to harm his mother and he threatened to harm his sister." The officers never did go inside and speak to Trevor or evaluate him in any way. They flat out told his parents that they didn't want to face repercussions themselves for overstepping and possibly taking him in illegally. Trevor's father decided to, instead, wake Trevor up and bring him down to talk to the police directly. He was now awake in his room, holding his mouth fully open, making strange noises. When he saw Mary, he screamed and lunged towards her. His father stopped him, but he still refused to speak to the police. Instead, he asked Trevor if he would be willing to go to the hospital. Surprisingly, he agreed to go. The police then left, and while things seemed to be hopeful, given that Trevor had agreed to go to a hospital, things were actually anything but. A few hours later, when his parents' guard was down once again, Trevor quickly fled the home and once again hopped into his McLaren. It was still blocked off by his father's vehicle, but Trevor simply didn't care. He flew into reverse and rammed his father's car out of the way, peeling out of the driveway and heading off on a dangerous drive once again. Shortly after 4 p.m., only a mere couple of minutes later, at Ashley Falls Elementary School in San Diego, Trevor pulled up in his sports car and stopped. It was interesting to note that a large banner on the gate of the school read STEAM, something that could have caused something within Trevor's mind to snap. He leapt out of his car and broke a window, although no classes were being held at the time. He got back into his car, where he was confronted by a male staff member. He said something incoherent before speeding off. The man said that something was clearly wrong with him. By now it was clear, even at first glance to bystanders, that Trevor was out of his mind.
What did he just say? Did he say that talk to you?
Something's wrong with him.
Trevor then continued to drive around the area in circles. While school wasn't in session, there were still plenty of kids jogging and exercising on campus. They ran off in the other direction from his car, given that it seemed like he might be up to something. The few staff still on campus continued to panic as Trevor drove around in a threatening manner, ending with Trevor driving straight through the gate of the school before peeling out into the street once again. It was while this was happening that Trevor's father was once again on the phone with the police. He said that his son was in a manic state again, had rammed his car, and fled the home. He once again begged for help for his son, saying that he was danger to himself and others. Unfortunately, he would be proven correct only seconds later. It was now 4:35 p.m. Trevor had made his way out onto the freeway in University City. He drove up an exit ramp and onto oncoming traffic in an area where his car couldn't be seen emerging. He then drove for about 1 full minute in this way, driving 100 miles an hour backwards on the freeway, weaving in and out of traffic. However, this time, things went past the point of no return. Trevor stopped weaving in between cars entirely. Having previously said that he felt invincible, it seemed that he was now willing to put that claim to the test. He completely stopped avoiding the other cars. There was now an SUV coming straight towards him, moving north on Interstate 805, and Trevor did nothing to move out of the way. He just accepted it. His McLaren then collided with the SUV, both drivers going at full speed in opposite directions. Trevor's mutilated car burst into flames around him. The impact was so intense that his seatbelt cut directly through his body, throwing some of his body parts out of the windshield and directly into the road. The SUV crashed and burst into flames as well. Inside were 43-year-old Eileen Pizarro and her 12-year-old daughter, Ariana. Eileen was, ironically, a therapist. Ariana was an avid reader, a lover of music, and a singer herself. Both of their lives were ended in an instant, an abrupt end during a normal day's drive. This caused a multi-car pileup and left yet another person severely injured, but luckily they survived. Trevor, Ariana, and Eileen, though, were gone. Medical examiners found a myriad of injuries all over Trevor's body, too many to list.
Listen, I'm a pause demon, so, like, the way it took me not to pause this right here, chat, I'm gonna let you know right now, nah, that shit is actually crazy, and I want to say RIP to the little girl and the mom. That's number one. Number two, you know, chat, it's like, I'm not gonna be, like, obviously I'm angry with him because he did that, right? Obviously, because that's what he did. He did that. He killed them. Obviously, that's what happened. But, like, there was something wrong with him, chat. Like, could we excuse that? Obviously, we could be vexed at him. I feel like all the stuff he did before crashing into the fence and all of that and reckless driving, no one got hurt. Okay, no one got hurt. There's something wrong with him. We gotta allow him. No one got hurt. This time, someone got hurt. Like, that's his fault, chat. That's his fault. Bro. Oh my gosh. You can't be saying stuff like that. You gotta understand. There is something wrong with him. They literally said there was something wrong. Do you see what the man was doing? The man literally said, "Bun it." He took his McLaren, backed it up, backed the car up with the McLaren, put it in reverse and stomped on it. Backed the car out of the driveway, pulled off. Bro, the man was not thinking properly. That's what they want you to believe. Look at this guy. Bro, back to what I was saying. I feel mom and daughter. And yeah, let's get back into it, cause well, that's the difference, like. But like, nah, I'm joking. But at the same time, like, chat, listen. I'm cooked, yes, but at the same time, like, I'm cooked, yes, but at the same time, like, chat, it's okay. It's okay, because I'm telling you, like, they would have the same thing I'm saying about him, they would say that about me, so, but he's at fault for killing them. That's what I'm saying. For killing them, that's his fault. That's his fault. We cannot forgive him for that. The other stuff, I'm just saying, the other stuff, there's something wrong with him. There's something wrong with him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that, I ain't gonna lie. Like, there has to be, it has to, something. Because you gotta understand, it has to get to a point. It has to get to a point. Listen, let's get back into it, bro.
It was noted that, in their examination, they found absolutely no drugs or alcohol in its system at all. While some people wanted the crash to be ruled as a murder, or manslaughter at the least, this wouldn't be the case. Likely, given Trevor's abysmal mental state, the police controversially ruled the entire thing as an accident.
I knew it.
Eileen left behind 2 sons. A GoFundMe was started for the whole family, raising over $67,000, far over its goal of $5,000. Trevor's parents did issue a statement afterwards, saying, "We express our deepest condolences to the Bizarro family and anyone impacted by this incident."
That family.
The comments on the McSkillet YouTube channel began to fill with a lot of hatred towards Trevor. At the time, many felt that this was simply a reckless way to end his own life while killing others intentionally. People began to call him a selfish murderer and chastised him for weaponizing his mental health against others instead of simply getting himself some help. Little did his viewers know how bad his mental state had really gotten. They had all just assumed that he was depressed about losing his source of income.
That's what I'm saying.
It's very likely that he hadn't set out to kill anyone or even die that day. He was simply completely out of his mind. Afterwards, the family of the victims decided to sue Trevor's estate and both the city and county of San Diego. They cited negligence toward the both of them. The lawsuit stated that the San Diego police failed to apprehend Trevor even when a psychologist was urging them to do so, asking them to detain him on a California Welfare and Institutions Code 5150 hold. This was a certain type of 72-hour hold for dangerous adults, something that there should have been no reason why they wouldn't have been able to do. The lawsuit wrote, because he was not evaluated by defendants to determine if he was a danger to himself or others, he was able to carry on with his erratic and mentally unstable behavior, and ultimately colliding head-on with Eileen Lydia Pizarro's vehicle, and thereby causing fatal injuries to Eileen and Ariana Pizarro. The Pizarro family's attorney said that the officers never even bothered to speak with Trevor.
I know they didn't.
She pointed out that, in the footage, none of the officers did the bare minimum of assessing him. She said, "I thought that you had police officers there that clearly weren't interested in assessing this person." For the time being, the police refused to comment on the story given that it was related to pending litigation.
Of course.
What they did do, though, was attempt to prevent the body cam footage from leaking out. They went to a superior court judge to sign a protective order to keep the body cam footage from being shown to the public, as well as the original 911 call. They cited their reasoning as to preclude the unnecessary embarrassment of any of the parties. When it was asked who they were supposedly trying to protect, given that the only witnesses were the people who wanted this body cam footage to be seen, they responded with, "The innocent witnesses include individuals who reported Mr. Heitmann's conduct to the police and individuals who discussed Mr. Heitmann's behaviors with police, in the process exposing personal information about themselves as well as other identifiers." In one more statement, they seemingly took a shot at Trevor's family, saying, "We take our obligation to protect witnesses seriously, without regard as to whether they have sued the city of San Diego." As you can assume by having seen this video, the body cam footage was eventually released and shown on the national news. The police really didn't get their way with that one, and they were even more unhappy to see that Trevor's family was now suing them. Trevor's family had filed their own lawsuit against the state as well now for their failure to act. In response, the state actually filed their own lawsuit against Trevor's family, saying that they were at fault for failing to act sooner. In January of 2025, after years and years of legal battles, the Pizarro family had tried to settle outside of court multiple times. Each and every time, though, they were voted down by the San Diego City Council. The city tried to have the whole case thrown out entirely as well, saying that the police officers had no duty to intervene in a mental health crisis. This motion, however, was also denied. Before the case went on to a full-on trial, all parties involved sat down for an all-day discussion. After it was all over, a settlement agreement was finally reached. While it isn't known what Trevor's family received in this settlement, it was made clear that the city of San Diego was going to pay $6 million to the Pizarro family. More specifically, $6,125,000 was set to be distributed to Eileen's father and her son, with her son getting the bulk of it. Now, Trevor's case is mainly known as both a dark stain on the history of both gaming and YouTube, as well as a cautionary tale of what can go wrong when deteriorating mental health goes unchecked. Once again,
whoever sent this in, I want to say thank you. That's number one. Number two, I ain't gonna lie to you, chat. Real talk. If we really break it down, he was 17 years old. He made $10 million in a couple months. YouTube famous on Twitter. You know what I mean? Just famous in general. Chat. I don't know. Fame hits people differently. Like fame does hit people differently, and at the same time, it's like But does that excuse him for what he did? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think so. I don't think so. Cause I told you already when he killed that right there. Yeah, I blame him for that. But in general, the other stuff, yeah, there's something wrong with him. But for that, yeah, I do blame him for that. Chad, I can't sit here and lie to you. YouTube fam, I can't sit here and lie to you. I can't.